So replacing Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago in one summer and then being considered a title contender in October is incredible from Klopp.
Are we the title contenders Mark Goldbridge maybe thinks we are? Possibly. I'd like to say we're going to go for the title. I think our aim is to get back into the top 4 Champions League, depending on how far we go in the Europa. Anything better than a 4th place finish will be a bonus for me this season, based on the amount of work we've had to do in the off season. And as he said there, changing a midfield pretty much in one window is unheard of. A lot of people thought it's never going to be done. I mean, Thiago's in and out. I mean, there's question marks over his potential future now, whether he'll be moved on in January or next season, depending. They thought that replacing Henderson and Fabinho in 1 year was going to be a difficult task, but Szoboszlai has come in and taken like a duck to water. McAllister is still doing the bits in there, even though some may think he's had a few shaky bits and pieces. Endo, the defensive mid, I don't know why we signed him if we're not going to play him. Hopefully Klopp's got something in mind, maybe get through these fixtures first and then put him into the big games that really need that grit in the midfield. We shall see. We shall see what happens, but Salah's doing the business. Nunez getting his goals where he needs to, even when he's not missing from from right in front. Diaz maybe needs a little bit more on the return, but he's still causing, some dramas on that left wing, on the right side. Obviously, Salah doing his thing there. The defense probably still need maybe another centre back. I mean, Van Dijk hasn't been up to par in recent weeks. I mean, he's still solid, but he's just not the same player we know him from some years ago. Kwanzaa's stepping up nicely. Gomez is there, filling in when he needs to. Matip is probably arguably up next to Van Dijk, our best defender. Obviously, you got Trent back in action. Robertson needs to stop ducking from free kicks and actually attacking them. And Alisson, of course, being a stalwart in between the sticks when he's not trying to track back and have shots from outside the box passed into the net past him. Let's not do that again. But Goldbridge full of praise for us. Let's hear a little bit more of what he had to say about Liverpool and what Klopp has basically done to this team, because he reckons, depending on how we go with the amount of fixtures, we may be on some sort of potential title challenge run. And a lot of people expect us to be up there. As I said, anything above a top 4 finish is a bonus. But if we need to be pushing for the league every year because we are Liverpool.
They really are a team that it might be too soon for them to go for a title. But then you look at the things that they've improved on very, very quickly. And you go, they could be a contender. They could be a contender. What Klopp has done is incredible. He has rebuilt that midfield, and then he's got that midfield competing like Forest and Luton and Brentford, who have to compete for their lives, and Liverpool are doing that. And the stats back it up. And it's absolutely incredible what they're doing.
It's funny he says that, though, because watching us with the amount of fixtures that we've had, obviously the opening day draw to Chelsea could have gone either way. We had the win at home to Villa recently. We also had the win at home to West Ham, and the 2-1 away at Newcastle with 10 men, and the Bournemouth game as well with 10 men when McAllister wrongfully got sent off. 3-1 there. 3-1 seemed to be our favoured scoreline. Obviously, the travesty that was the VAR match against Spurs a couple of weeks ago, losing that game. We had the draw against Brighton just the other week. Arguably, again, should have possibly won that game. But we've had some difficult games. We've had difficult fixtures. 3-1 win away to Wolves. So a lot of these teams are probably going to be top 10, mid-table, somewhere there. So arguably, we've had the hard fixtures, harder than probably what we expected. When you look at teams like, a lot of people want to give Spurs shit for the amount of teams they've played, but you can only play what's in front of you. And if this was us playing the lower teams, Luton first and all these others in between, I wouldn't be complaining. I'd be like, yes, we give us 3 points now. But of course, like we saw with Arsenal and City the other day, Arsenal's win against City, not to make this an Arsenal thing, but the win against City will do wonders for them, because that mental block now is done and dusted, as many have said. I know for us, when City come to Anfield, we would beat them 1-0 or a 2-1 or whatever it is, but they'll still win the league. So it doesn't guarantee that just because you beat them at home that you're going to run away or potentially go on to win the league. So there is still work to be done in that sense there. But going back to my Reds, you can only play what's in front of you, as I said, in relation to Spurs. Same thing with Liverpool. Now, this graph is from Opta, and it basically states the difficulty of each team's first 10 games that they had to play. Sheffield United have had the hardest games. I don't know what, 41.1%, is that probably the win percentage? Maybe, I'm not too sure. Tottenham have got the easiest remaining games now, I believe. As you can see there, 92.6% should be winning their games. But as I said, you can only play what's in front of you. Everton have had a shocking start to the season, but they've got the games there. Chelsea as well. So as you can see there, we're not doing too badly. We're in the top four. We're in that huddle around there, that October-November period. So long as you stick there, you sort of like find out where you were. But we've seen previously teams that start well in the first 8 to 10 weeks, they taper off, they drop, things happen, and you try and stay within that particular location of where you are. Obviously, you want to try and win it. If not win it, you want to try and be top 4. If not top 4, top 6, etc., etc. And down the bottom, you want to try and stay and survive. But if I'm reading this graph correctly, which I'm trying to work out what it is, because it says each team's remaining opponents to measure fixture difficulty. So our next 2 games was Everton and someone else. Oh, wait, I can't remember. I think we're playing Forest or something. I don't know, whatever it is. And apparently, 55.7%. So we've got the harder fixtures as opposed to Tottenham, who've got the easier. So that may explain why Tottenham are sitting up top at the moment. Not to say that just because they've played easy games, you still need to play them. You still need to play what's in front of you. You still need to win. But the opponent difficulty has probably worked in their favor. And of course, I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. These are facts, as Rafa Benitez once said. The VAR match that we had marred in controversy gave him 3 points as well, ultimately. Mind you, we've also played 5 out of the 8 games away from home, so we have a lot of games to play at Anfield. Obviously, we still have that Anfield Road end to be renovated. I don't think that's what's holding it up. Just seems maybe to be how the fixtures have been sorted out. But hey, when we come to Anfield, that's our home. That's where we play. And speaking of, a little bit more from Goldbridge as well, based on what I just showed you there with the games there. Just hear what he has to say regarding the fixtures we've had and the approach that we've had to our matches.
They've won at Newcastle. They've been to Chelsea and got a result. They've obviously had that Spurs game that was hard on them. They beat Aston Villa as well. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. They haven't had a particularly easy start to the season, and it's been relatively tough.
It hasn't been the easiest. It has been challenging at times, but coming up on top, multiple wins, a shoddy loss, couple of draws, it ain't the worst thing. It's not the worst thing. We could be worse off. Again, with the new midfield, sometimes it takes time to gel. I mean, look at Chelsea, for example. Caicedo, Lavia injured, still not playing particularly well. Enzo still needs to show up, like a lot of people keep telling Matisse, they call him Glasses, the Chelsea fan, of course, on the Big Six. They were razzing him up big time. And it's one of those things where when you're someone like Liverpool who has won it, have dropped off a little bit, but then pick yourselves back up again. A lot of people are doubting us, which I'm fine with. A lot of people are doubting Spurs as well, saying that they're going to drop off as well, which we may as well. You never know. City may lose 3 or 4 more games. Unlikely, but it's always possible. You just don't know these things. So to say that we are in we're contenders for the title, I'll take that. My main target is top 4. A lot of people are saying we need to be pushing for first, not when you're getting draws away from home. But as we've said, we've had tough fixtures. We've got through them. Again, Newcastle away, St. James Park, hard place to go. Wolves, we saw City lose to them the other week. We've played West Ham at home. We've played Villa at home. We've played Bournemouth at home. The draw against Chelsea, the draw away to Bournemouth, not Bournemouth, the Brighton and Hove Albion, which again, probably should have won if Gravenberch didn't hit the post, but we don't know what would have happened. And of course, the 2-1 defeat to Tottenham with the 9 men and the VAR and all that shenanigans. So it hasn't been the worst start for Liverpool. Are we title contenders? I'm not sure yet. But damn it, if we continue the way we're going and we don't get players sent off needlessly, we don't have any injuries needlessly. Of course, Gakpo. I forgot to mention Gakpo at the start. Holy crap, I knew I was forgetting somebody. Gakpo. How could I forget? We will be good. Come the end of the season, we will be there. I do hope so. You best believe.